right, if you missed Baldy yesterday, he joined us at 7:30 as he does every single Tuesday.
It's on YouTube.
He was awesome. It's on YouTube.
Hey, B,
it's on Twitch.
We just cracked 10,000 followers on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
I want to get to 20,000. If you're not following us right now.
By the first of the year, right?
Yes, that's the goal. And here's the thing. If you want to see, practice footage, if you want to see stuff behind the scenes for the Warriors, you want to see some of the Steph Curry routine, we're going to start posting all of the Warrior stuff this year. So if you're a big-time Warrior fan, you want to subscribe to our YouTube page because you're going to get a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff. If your kid is a basketball player and they want to replicate Klay Thompson's pregame routine or Steph Curry's, we're going to try to post all those things on there. So if you're not, you got to subscribe to 95.7 The Game's YouTube page.
Like us, love us, hate us, do whatever you want to do, but get there. Get on Twitch as well because we don't forget about our Twitch audience as well. There are day ones here on the Morning Roast. Also, the Comcast Business text line, 888-957-9570. Your thoughts on Jimmy Garoppolo starting at quarterback for the 49ers. What should their expectations be moving forward? Baldy yesterday said with us, and we're going to get to King of the Hill in just a second. Baldy said, it's full throttle. Actually, I'm going to just play it.
I've always said, and this is not a cliche, it's just a fact, is that it's hard to win games while you're developing a young quarterback. It just is. And so, sometimes you can just be a Dak Prescott and come in day one, like you take over for Tony Romo, and you're the guy, and there isn't a big learning curve. But he had the league's best offensive line in front of him. He had a great running game, and certain things that helped him, not diminishing anything that Dak's accomplished. But it's hard, especially for a guy that's played as little as Trey has played. So, to your point, I feel the same way. I feel like, okay, it's full speed ahead right now. We don't have to develop. We don't have to have these growing pains. We've got a guy that's been to a championship game, been to a Super Bowl, won big games on the road, all that stuff, full speed ahead. Let's go.
So I agree with the sentiment, and a lot of people have come in with this, like, it's hard to win games, period. Just stop right there.
Right.
Hard to win games in the NFL,
no
period.
Doubt.
Okay? It's exponentially harder to try to win with a young guy. We all agree there. No one is saying it's easy.
Yep.
But we also have to understand that there's the short term and then there's the long term, right? The long term is you're hoping that by the year's end, you have a better player. Right. You're hoping that a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, the development that you put in that maybe sets you back in the first couple of weeks of year one is totally moot by year 5, right? Now, and I know that's the long-term view, and you're going to say, Joe, they got Trent Williams and Debo. And the roster changed dramatically year to year. Yep. And when you swing as big as they did, they owe it not just to themselves, but to the player himself. The only way he's going to develop is with live bullets. I think we've all now finalized that.
He's got to play.
You can't sit on the sideline and develop. You need to develop in game. I don't think people understand the head coach is not over off to the side working with the backups to develop those guys. The only way you're going to get the repetitions and the practice and the work is being the number one and playing in real live games where guys can square you up.
And I'm looking at this text here on a 408, and this has been driving me crazy, courtesy of the Comcast Business text line. Trey Lance clearly wasn't developed as a thrower enough, which is why Shanahan had no option but to run him. Number one, I don't subscribe to that. He can't throw the ball. You drafted him because he could throw the ball.
What did I send you last night?
But he also, real quick, Shasky.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
He also, if he can't throw the ball, then that's on Kyle Shanahan.
Well, both of them. It's on both of them.
It's on both of them, but Trey Lance's work. But that's on you, Shanahan. I'm looking at you to develop this young man. This is the guy that you wanted. You've been complaining about, hey, I don't want Jimmy. You got your guy. And you go out there and you run him over 40-plus times. You ran him 16 times last year against Arizona. You ran him 13 times against Chicago. Don't give me this monsoon crap. It wasn't a monsoon until the fourth quarter. First 3 quarters was fine, and you still ran this guy. You ran him when you had a full stable of backs, all right? Don't give me this that Trey can't throw the ball. We all watch practice. We all watch training camp. I heard none of that stuff going into the season. Trey can't throw the ball. Come on, man. What? It's a small sample size. How can we even determine through 4 games that Trey can't throw the ball? He made plenty of throws in those 4 games, Shasky. Plenty.
Look, I'm not going to sit here and try to adjudicate with people, who can do what and who saw what. I went to practice. I saw the guys. I saw them last year. I saw them again this year. I went every single day. In terms of throwing the football on the field, now it's practice, and people can say, oh, it doesn't matter. Pads, no pads. Sam, I want you to hop on the line with me because you were standing right next to me. Trey Lance was clearly the best thrower of the football at 49er camp, and it wasn't even close. Sam, am I lying when I say that?
Oh, no, you're completely serious. It was just every ball, it was just launched right out of his arm.
And, now, does that equate to automatic success in games?
No,
of course not. No one's saying that. But, there's a maturation process. And if you're going to invest the amount of money that they invested in him, at some point they have to turn that card over and find out, is it a 3 or is this an ace of spades?
Right.
Or something in between. So, I don't know. Look, the sucky thing is we'll never know this year.
We don't know. And 650, I'm not going to go to the last part of what you said, but Comcast Business Text line, how do we know Trey can't throw? That's where I'm at. Why the bleep will we draft him if he can't throw? Someone needs to be fired if Trey can't throw.
Well,
that's bad draft compensation. You moved up in the draft and gave up an additional 2 first-round picks and more picks to go get this guy. And he can't throw? If Lance can't, and certified G, 415, this is where I'm at too. If he can't throw the ball, why was he playing?
I don't know.
So anyway,
but here's the thing. I would say this before we move on, and I want to do King of the Hill. It just feels like to me you could take a look at every stop along the quarterback train, going back to the beginning, and you can question and say, did you do it right in real time? Did you do it right in terms of the long-term view? Whether it's not drafting a quarterback at the get-go,
2017,
not empowering Jimmy Garoppolo, not putting a good offensive line around Jimmy Garoppolo, not having enough weapons around, not trusting him, whether it's bringing in Trey Lance and picking him over other people, not developing him, maybe keeping Jimmy around too long. We could sit here and go back to 2017, and I can crack a hole in every single but you could probably do that for every organization.
You could do that before 2017. But you released Colin Kaepernick, and you basically drafted Trey Lance, who a lot of people equate to Colin Kaepernick and say he could be better than Kaepernick, but does a lot of the same things.
That's where I'm going. You can critique every step of the way. Here's the reality. I don't want to go backwards right now. Today, I want to move forward, and I want to embrace Jimmy Garoppolo.
Got to get that out though. But
I hear you. I just think to me right now, They get the guy. They get the guy that apparently some of the players wanted, maybe some of the coaches, it sounds like, which is a whole nother conversation I'd like to have with you in about 20 minutes regarding the coaches. But they get their opportunity, and they can hopefully get into the playoffs because everybody's telling us this is a win-now organization, a win-now team. My pushback to that would always be, and I said this during the Harbaugh era, a lot of players come and go. You flip the roster over 30, 35% every year. That's minimum, right? If you get the quarterback right, that guy could be there for 10, 12 years.
No doubt. 925, you guys are paid to be optimistic, so I get it, but he looks like a bust so far. And that's the problem. He was a number 3 overall pick, and that's another first-round pick that, as of now, hasn't panned out. And since 2017, when they had their picks, go back to Solomon Thomas or Reuben Foster. Go back to Mike McGlinchey.
But it's too early.
I know it's too early. But we know about Reuben Foster, Solomon Thomas, did not work out. You had 2 first-round picks. They're both gone.
I mean, you just watched a guy who's the player of the week right now, right? The player of the week is Tua Tagovailoa.
Yep.
I still don't even know if Tua is good or not or great or something in between.
At least they're letting him throw the ball.
But my point is he's 3 years in, right? He's 3 full years in, right? And you're watching this guy, and he had the game of his life over the weekend and beat Lamar Jackson in a crazy game. I still don't know if he's the guy or not. I don't know if he's good or not. I have no idea. Now, everyone's going to point to Josh Allen, and I think that's so unfair. But I sent you a montage last night of just year 1 and 2 throws from Josh Allen. It was like a 5-minute montage of him just airmailing, skipping, throwing poles all over the place.
It's funny because you sent it. I had retweeted it earlier in the day. That montage of Josh Allen throwing the ball his first 3 years. And, I mean, his first year. And it was bad. It was bad. Now what do we say about Josh Allen 2 years later? He's going on everybody's board as number 1 quarterback in fantasy football. A lot of people won't take any other player over Josh Allen right now. People will take him over Mahomes. That's how good he's developed. That's how good he's gotten as a quarterback. Trey Lance, I hope he can get there, but I just don't know. And my faith in him being a great quarterback has been diminished with the way the head coach used him.
Well, the other thing is that we're acting like the first 2 games is an indication of how he would have been used all year. I personally believe that as the year went on, there would be an evolution of the offense. I think we've forgotten in real time. We think, Jimmy just slung it in 2019 at the beginning of the year. They protected Jimmy like crazy.
They ran the ball like crazy.
I mean, I think he threw like 20-something times, 21 times or whatever in the Tampa Bay game,
He
right?
really didn't open it up until, I want to say, Halloween against Arizona.
So that's what I'm saying. Now, no, maybe it would have been even more suppressed with Trey Lance for the first 5, 6, 7, 8 weeks. But the hope was that as the year went on, you could stack some victories, slowly develop him in real time, and then slowly open up the offense as it went going. So I want to give Shanahan the benefit of the doubt on that I do believe there was a bigger picture at play. And just because he was used one way at the beginning of the year that I didn't agree with doesn't mean that it would have been that way all year.
Maybe not. But right now, Shanahan, Trey Lance is on the shelf. 10 to 12 weeks, his ankle will be healed, but he's going to be done for the year. There's no way they're going to bring back Trey Lance to play.
You know what I would say about that? Because there's a lot of speculation about him returning in 10 to 12 weeks.
He's not returning.
Here's what I would say. Number one, he needs to be fully healthy. That's number one. And I'm not going to rush him. We did this with Alex Smith. We rushed him back, and we ruined his shoulder.
They're not going to play
I'm not saying that they're going to do that. I'm saying as a 49er fan, he needs to sit. And then I assess where my team's at, and we will cross the bridge if and when. And let's see where Jimmy's at. Let's see where the team's at.
That's where I'm at today.
We'll have that conversation when it's relevant. Today, we're not.
Well, that's where I'm at today. And I said this at the top of the show, Shasky. It's the Garoppolo package. And I want to know, what should we expect from Jimmy Garoppolo? In the minds of the fans. I'm very curious now, because last week, the conversation was, you have a young quarterback holding back a Super Bowl roster. I heard that over and over and over again. Okay, the young quarterback is now on the shelf. The young quarterback is nursing a broken ankle. He just had surgery Monday morning. Now Jimmy Garoppolo's back. Shouldn't I now expect them to be, like Baldy said, full throttle, all gas, no brakes? Let's go win this damn thing? And I know we had the conversation yesterday about Super Bowl aspirations and Super Bowl or bust or whatnot. This core is not going to be together for too much longer. They've already hinted at that. Kittle, Juszczyk, Trey, we've all hinted at that. Debo's only got a 3-year deal. You know what I'm saying? This core is not going to be together forever.
Yeah, but agreed. That's also football.
It's also football.
It's not exclusive to the Niners, is what I'm saying.
But I'm talking about the Niners.
Yeah.
The core.
Yes.
This core.
Yeah.
It's not going to be around a long time. The Rams core has been around for a long time. Cooper Kupp's been there from day one with Sean McVay. Mm-hmm. All right? They're 5-6 years in now. 6 years in. He's been there. Mm-hmm. They've had a lot of their core guys. Aaron Donald. Our core guys, getting older. They've got a lot of injury history. Long list. Where's the expectations now with Jimmy back in the lineup? What should we expect now? Like, again, the question last week was, you got a young quarterback holding back a Super Bowl roster.
Well, I'm looking at this weekend. Forget the big picture. I'm just looking at Denver this weekend. I have no idea what to expect, Monte. I don't. And I'm not like trying to be Mr. like pessimist. I'm saying that I legitimately don't know how much can Jimmy Garoppolo learn in 3 weeks of the quote unquote new playbook? How many of the old plays are they going to run? I'm being honest. He needs to get up to speed. He's got an injury with the shoulder. He's coming back. Who knows where his health's at?
The playbook's the same. He said it after the game. I'm comfortable. I know the system. I've been in the system since midway through 2017. All right? I'm not going to, the playbook. He's got to learn the playbook. He knows the playbook. Have any plays look differently other than the quarterback powers?
They did a pistol play and everyone was like, it's a totally new play. The concept was very similar. It's just the position of where the quarterback was.
It's just a different formation.
Exactly.
It's a different look to the defense.
Which is Bill Walsh's staple.
They run a lot of things that they've read since 2017.
Mm-hmm.
They just do it. They may run it in 3-by-1. Trips right. Single wide receiver to the left. They may run it in double tight. They may run it in 2-by-2 formations. 2 receivers to the left, 2 receivers to the right. It's the same stuff. So I don't want to hear that playbook stuff.